Trusting in God means whenever something does not happen in your favor, know that God has a better plan for you.
Expectation is the pillar that holds the roof of good and bad. Wherever there is duality, there is expectation. If a man is loyal to his wife, then he has right to expect similar loyalty from his wife. If a child is honest with its parents, then it has right to expect similar honesty from the parents. If a subordinate is polite to his manager, then he reserves the right of being treated politely by the latter. So, when a guru gives something to his disciple, why shouldn't he have a right to expect good returns from the disciple? In short, it's nothing wrong for a guru to expect anything from the disciples. But then what happens when the guru's expectations are not met? What is a good or bad guru in general? What is a good or bad disciple in general? Good and bad are relative terms. If guru fulfills his disciples' expectations, then that disciple will call the guru a guru. And if his expectations are not met, then he will call the same guru a bad guru. Similarly, if a disciple meets his guru expectation, then the guru will call him a good disciple, otherwise that disciple will be called a bad disciple. And since good and bad are relative terms, the same person can be a good guru for one student and a bad guru for another. Illustration: assume there is a guru who has two disciples. One disciple is poor, and the other rich. From the poor disciple, the guru has only one expectation: he should be regular in attending his classes. Whereas from the rich disciple, the guru has two expectations: one, he should attend classes regularly, and two, he should financially support the guru. Now, the poor student is very regular in attending the guru's classes, and hence the guru calls him a good disciple. The rich disciple is equally regular with the classes but doesn't support enough his guru financially. That annoys the guru, and since his expectations are not met by the rich disciple, the latter becomes a bad disciple. I have no right to call any guru a bad guru. But, if I expect certain qualities in a guru and, if my expectations are not met by that guru, then that guru becomes a bad guru in my understanding. But that certainly doesn't mean that that guru is actually a bad guru. He is bad for those whose expectations he doesn't meet with, and he is good for those he does. If we remove the element of expectations from any relationship, then there will be nothing called bad in that relationship. If nothing is expected from disciples, then all disciples would be good. And similarly, if nothing is expected from gurus, then all of them would be good gurus.
If we remove the element of expectations from any relationship, then there will be nothing called bad in that relationship.
Disciples, unless they graduate spiritually, would have expectations because they are yet to learn a lot. But a guru's keeping expectations doesn't make any sense, as gurus are expected to have risen above that level. Happiness is extremely important for everyone. Happiness in one's life is inversely proportionate to his expectations. The more one expects, the less he is happy, and the less he expects, the more he is happy. If one doesn't expect anything, then he is always happy.
The more one expects, the less he is happy, and the less he expects, the more he is happy. If one doesn't expect anything, then he is always happy.
Thus, if a guru's expectations are not met by his disciples, then the guru would not be happy. But, if the guru doesn't expect anything from his disciples, then there is no question of the disciples fulfilling his expectations or not. The guru naturally is always happy. Let's see what the scriptures say. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Karma nivat hikarast ma phalesha katachana, ma karma phalahitar burmati sangastvai karmani. Translation: do your duty, and be detached from its outcome. Do not be driven by the end product, enjoy the process of getting there. Every day we all live a combination of materialistic and spiritual lives. The above sloka, saying, doesn't apply in our materialistic lives. If we work for an organization to earn our sustenance, then we cannot say that we would work but not expect a pay. However, in our spiritual lives the above mantra works wonders. Whether one is a husband, wife, parent, friend, or guru, if he gives without expecting anything in return, he would have tremendous peace of mind. And of course, I am not saying that we may not accept anything in return, but just not expect anything. Evil is inevitable in Kali Yuga, Dark Age. The present epoch is the Dark Age. As per scriptures, this period lasts for 432,000 Earth years, and we have come through hardly 5,000 years. As years advance, evil will go on increasing, and it will reach its peak before the end of this yuga. Human beings take several births to complete their long journey until they merge with their source, the Supreme. Since, before human births they live millions of lives as animals, the traits of animal instinct and animal nature continue during their several human lives as well, until slowly they start making progress in their spiritual lives. People, who are toddlers in their spiritual journey, have been committing evils in the form of slandering, attacking, robbery, murder, rape, molestation, abuse, war, riot, bombing, terrorism, and so on. Modernization brought along modern evils such as internet hacking, identity theft, and more. Evil will increase day by day. Evildoers can be punished, but evil cannot be stopped. Even if the entire population of innocent people pray, that cannot stop evil from happening. After September 11th terrorist attack, billions of people, at least for once, pray that let such a heinous thing never happen again. But guess what? Worse and worse are yet to come. We cannot stop evil, we can just learn to live oblivious of evil. We can just let evil not touch us. And there comes the great role of gurus who can teach how to do that. Even the great avatars such as Jesus and Buddha didn't bring an end to evil. But those who followed the avatars' teachings learned to live oblivious of evil, and help few others to do the same.
As such negativity should be avoided, however, to bring home the point that we cannot stop the world from evil happenings, we can just learn to live oblivious to it. I had to use negativity such as evil cannot be stopped. We cannot stop evil. We can just learn to live oblivious of evil. We can just let evil not touch us. Even the great avatars such as Jesus and Buddha didn't bring an end to evil. But those who followed the avatars' teachings learned to live oblivious of evil, and help few others to do the same.
Our expectation decides, good and bad. If we don't expect anything from anybody, then there would be nothing bad in our lives. Evil will always exist. But if we practice self-realization, then we can be unconscious of evil. And that's the long and short of spiritual wisdom that would help us in our day-to-day lives. Guru-disciple relationship is sacred and secret.
Some people like guru publicity, while other seekers do not talk much about their gurus. In today's day and age, for one true guru there are hundreds of fake ones. Millions of people have suffered terribly by becoming disciples of such charlatans. Hence, we can't blame innocent people who run away if we talk of gurus to them because they wish to be safe, then sorry. Thus, if a person doesn't want to accept anybody as his guru, then it might not be his superiority complex but rather his fear of making a fraud his guru. Finally, There are many disciples who never talk or mention about their gurus. There is a strong reason behind that. Many gurus do not want themselves to be discussed in public. According to such gurus, a disciple's criticizing his guru is bad, but the disciple's praising his guru in public is worse. Gurus are not commodities that need publicity. A true seeker would find out a guru for himself. Similarly, a true guru will surely find out students. No publicity is needed. Thus, if a person doesn't talk about his guru, then it's not necessary that he feels ashamed to say that someone is his guru, but it's quite possible that the person's guru has strictly instructed him not to do any guru publicity, or he, seeker, himself doesn't believe in guru publicity. A woman's breastfeeding her child is one of the most sacred things in the world. But that's done in privacy and not in public. A woman gives physical birth to a child, while a guru gives spiritual birth to his student. Right from the guru mantra that a disciple receives from his guru during initiation, to everything between the guru and disciple should be kept sacred and secret. Unless anybody asks, try even not to tell your guru's name to anybody. The only thing to be passed on by the disciple is the guru's teachings.
Guru is not a marketing product.
As mentioned, a guru is one who dispels the ignorance of his disciples. The guru-disciple relationship is a very sacred one. A spiritual teacher can be a universal teacher. However, a guru is just the guru of his disciples, and not a universal guru. A Sadguru or Paranguru is also a guru of his followers and not a universal Sadguru or universal Paranguru. It's bad on disciples' part to badmouth his guru, but it is worse to praise too much one's guru in public. A guru is not a marketing product. One doesn't need to do publicity of one's guru thinking that the entire world will start following his guru. A guru's door is always open for everybody. A seeker will find it out without any publicity. Most true gurus teach their disciples to spread the guru's teachings, and not the guru's name. Swami Vivekananda is world famous, but hardly a few people know his guru's name. Sri Ramakrishna blessed him to spread his, Sri Ramakrishna's, teachings, and not his name. There is a vast difference between the terms availability and publicity of a guru. I don't mean a guru or spiritual teacher should hide in the darkness of a cave and shouldn't be available to the world to share his wisdom of spirituality. All I say is that real gurus are strictly against anybody doing their publicity. Now let me try to explain in my own words how I differentiate between availability and publicity. In a grocery store we find potatoes and Ben and Jerry ice cream. Both are available to the people, whoever needs it, but how much publicity of potatoes we see. But we do see a lot of publicity of B&J ice cream. That's how I see the availability of both potatoes and B&J ice cream, but big publicity of B&J ice cream alone. Based on that understanding, a guru's making himself available in an ashram, on internet, or anywhere in the world is just making himself available to the world and not doing any publicity. Right from Buddha to Jesus to Ramakrishna, many enlightened souls were available to spread the light of spirituality, but if we closely observe them, then we will see that nobody was involved in any kind of publicity or soliciting. Let's talk of Sri Ramakrishna. Until towards the very end of his physical life on earth, he refused to disclose that he was an avatar, which finally he disclosed to Swami Vivekananda during his last days. Example of a disciple's avoiding Guru's publicity. Swami Vivekananda travelled the entire world and spread his Guru's teachings, but he never boasted about his Guru. One would hardly come across Swamiji's public lectures where he mentioned his Guru's name, leave aside praising his Guru all the time. That was because his Guru's instruction to him was to spread his Guru's teachings, and not Guru's name and fame. Thus, I see a difference between availability and publicity. If somebody asked me about my Guru, then obviously I wouldn't say that it's a top secret. I would talk a very little about him. If somebody wants me to take him to my Guru, then I will never decline the request, but would not solicit that act, and much less plead anyone to accept my Guru as his Guru. One explanation for that is as follows. A jiva, individual soul, takes 8.4 million non-human births before getting the first human birth, and then it takes several human births before completing its worldly journey and permanently merging back with Shiva, Supreme Soul. During these 8.4 million births, the jiva is born as worms, insects, fish, animals, etc. Some lives are of worms that live for just few seconds, while some births such as tortoise are of few hundred years. Each birth has its own lifespan. Every time an animal dies, it reduces one life of that jiva and it goes nearer to its human birth by one life. So, does that mean that people should go around killing as many animals as they can, and thus help those jivas to get closer to their human birth? Obviously the answer is no. For everything there is a proper time. We just may not push anybody towards its spiritual birth. When a jiva can wait for 8.4 million lives to get human life, can't it wait for a few human lives, or a little more time in the present human life to find its Guru who would help him in his remaining journey to merge into Shiva? When the right time comes in a jiva's life, he will get its Guru. Guru's availability is enough, publicity is not needed. As Sri Ramakrishna used to say, the wind of grace is always blowing, you just need to raise your sail, and your boat will reach its destination. Example of a Guru's seeking disciple. Usually a Guru seeks one or two disciples, who would carry out his mission of spreading spirituality after his Guru's passing away from body. For that purpose Sri Ramakrishna asked Goddess Kali to send him couple of such disciples. Mother Kali showed him in his vision two youngsters, Rakal and Naren, who later came to be known as Swami Brahmananda and Swami Vivekananda. Besides them, the great avatar never craved for any disciple.
Christianity B/S Yoga.
Is there a variance in attitude of gurus between West and East, between Christianity and Yoga? Passiveness or aggressiveness of a guru may not be the effect of East vs West, Hinduism vs Christianity, etc. It's more the effect of being spiritual vs religious. If we talk of a Hindu guru or Catholic priest, then we are talking religion and not spirituality. A significant milestone in the life of a seeker is to give up religion and just stay spiritual. Spirituality is the essence of all religions. A significant milestone in the life of a seeker is to give up religion and just stay spiritual. So, whether a person belongs to the East or West, any religion, caste, creed, or color, one would find similar attitude, the attitude of favoring one's own religion, etc. if that person is a religious person. But if that person were a spiritual person, then you would find a totally different attitude. Thus, in short, the attitude of all religious people would be almost similar, and the attitude of all spiritual people will be almost similar, irrespective of where they belong and what religion they follow. Somebody once commented, "The truth is many Hindu gurus promote themselves quite a bit." I had to comment back saying, first of all, I find it odd if any guru calls oneself to be a Hindu guru or Christian mystic. A spiritual guru is a guru, and spirit or the self doesn't have any religion. After advancing spiritually to the level of a guru, what's the point of clinging to a particular religion?
Aggressive guru B/S passive guru.
From a study of Vedas, understand that a guru must not be aggressive but passive. Scriptures talk of 6 very important qualities of any spiritual person, and they are Sama, controlling mind; Dhamma, controlling senses; Uprati, resting mind from pursuing impermanent sense attraction; Titiksha, forbearance; Shraddha, faith; Samadhana, self-contentedness. So, when a person has all these 6 qualities, one can imagine how tranquil that person's attitude will be. Will there be any sign of aggressiveness on his face or mind? When we look at the images of avatars and gurus such as Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, Guru Nanak, Ramakrishna, et al., do we see any aggressiveness on their faces? Even by concentrating on their pictures for 15 minutes, our minds become so calm and quiet, then we can imagine how much passive they were in real life. That could be one reason why many people think that gurus should be passive, otherwise there's no such hard and fast rule that a guru shouldn't be aggressive. There were many aggressive gurus, and there's nothing wrong about it. One such example was Guru Thothapuri. When Sri Ramakrishna told him that he was not able to concentrate on Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Guru Thothapuri got very aggressive and shouted at him, "What do you mean you can't concentrate?" Then he picked up a broken piece of glass and pierced it between Ramakrishna's eyebrows, and again shouted, "Now concentrate on this pain, and don't get up until you experience Nirvikalpa Samadhi." That one shouting was enough for the great avatar. What took Thothapuri 40 years to learn, Ramakrishna learned it at one shout of his aggressive guru. So, in spirituality it's not easy to comment anything as right or wrong on part of a guru. A true guru is a guru. It doesn't matter whether he is passive or aggressive.
It is quite possible that one person finds a great guru in a person, while another person may have a completely different experience with that guru. There are many paths for spiritual people, but the destination is one. Those having a good guru would reach the destination in less time, while other would take longer. The beauty of earth is that it is round. If a person took a wrong path, as wrong as taking a 180-degree opposite path, still he would reach his destination, but will take much longer time. Similarly, in spiritual journey, a right guru can show the best route to one's destination. In our day-to-day lives, we all have asked direction to strangers. Though they are strangers to us, we trust them and ask. But based on their confidence, we either go all the way as they direct, or we go a few steps and ask another person. Interesting part is that some people give us right direction, but seeing their lack of confidence, we ask another person. While some people give us wrong direction but with full confidence, and so we go all the way as per their direction, only to find ourselves further lost. Hence, unless we reach our destination, it's very difficult to say whether we got right direction from that person or not. A spiritual journey is not much different than what I just said. Here, gurus are those strangers whom we ask help with directions. A guru's direction may help one but might not help another student. We may get a good guru or a misleading guru or no guru at all. However, we just need to keep moving ahead on our spiritual paths. In 1931, when Ramakrishna Mission decided to send Swami Nikhilananda to America to spread the teachings of Vedanta, the Swami was too disappointed to leave his disciple brothers and country and come to this unknown place. He went to the mission's management and told, "Please don't ask me to go anywhere I don't know much. What should I teach others?" On that, one of the head swamis of the management replied, "You don't have to teach anything. You just have to share what you know." Swami Nikhilananda then came to America and spent more than 5 decades spreading the divine wisdom until the end of his physical life. In spirituality, there is nothing to teach. People share their knowledge, and those who are convinced of the given knowledge accept it. In chemistry laboratory, the professor says something like, 2 parts of hydrogen and 1 part of oxygen make water, and after that he proves it, and the students accept it for the rest of their lives. In spirituality, there is nothing to prove. It's just one's belief against another's. Spiritual discussion between 2 people should always be calm. If it's between 2 spiritual persons, who are not guru and disciple or student, then both should share their knowledge, and at the end of discussion both take home whatever they liked out of the discussion, and forget whatever they didn't like. Paramahansa, Supreme Swan, is a mythical bird. When a mixture of milk and water is given to it, it drinks the milk and leaves water behind. This quality of Supreme Swan is metaphorically used to teach people that they need to develop the quality of taking the good out of anything that's offered, and leaving behind the bad. Please don't misunderstand the message, thinking that milk is called good, and water, bad. The example is used to teach the concept of separating one from other, and keeping just the one you want. If the discussion is between guru and disciple or student, then it's just one-way knowledge flow. The guru tells, and the student listens. If the student doesn't like the guru's teachings, then the student is free to go. Guru has power, not everybody. Why does a guru have power but an ordinary person doesn't? Everyone has same power, but different people use that power differently. Surgeons use their powers to operate on hair-thin nerves of brain so that people can live well. Astronauts use their powers to fix satellites at 0 gravity, risking their lives so that billions of people can enjoy television programs, etc. Psychic readers use their powers to foretell people's destiny. Most people use their powers for everyone's good, while some also use their powers to harm others. And then there are some who waste their powers by not using them at all. But everyone has same amount of powers, whether he is aware of it or not. Similarly, some gurus utilize their powers for healing people. It's not that gurus have healing power while an ordinary person doesn't have any power. It's only that an ordinary person channelizes his power for some other purpose, because everyone cannot use one's powers just for healing others, as there are other things to do as well. Or he may not be using the power at all, out of his free will. Another important question is whether it is just the healing power of a guru that cures a suffering person, or is there something more than that? Assume a guru has healing power of touch, then why wouldn't he go around 12 to 16 hours a day, and heal as many people he could? Supposing the guru has healing power of prayers, then why wouldn't he pray for the entire world, and heal everyone's diseases? It's not that healing touches or prayers do not work, they certainly do. But, mostly there are other factors too which work simultaneously. Right karma of the sufferer to have found such a guru and faith of the sufferer in that guru are other important factors which actually play critical role in the guru's healing the sufferer.
Healing power is not enough to heal somebody. Right karma of the sufferer for having found a healer, and faith of the sufferer in the healer, are very important factors in the healing.
Last but not the least, a guru's healing a person by his power of touch or prayer may not be the ultimate remedy of the sufferer. Don't give fish to a hungry man, teach him fishing, as is often said. Gurus mostly try to teach the sufferers how to overcome their sufferings. A guru may give a mantra to the sufferer, and ask him to chant it with great devotion that would rid him of his suffering. If a guru uses his powers to heal the sufferer, then next day the person might come back with his other pains, and look upon the guru to be his family doctor. Story: Buddha and a dead child's mother. Once a woman brought her dead son to Buddha and said, "Everyone calls you God. If that's true, then bring back my son to life." Buddha agreed to bring her son back to life, but on a condition. She has to bring just one handful of sesame seeds from a family where there has never been a death. The woman went from one house to another the entire day, and finally returned to Buddha empty-handed. In every family there were deaths. Either the family had lost at least a child, or spouse, or parent, or grandparent, or great-grandparent, or great-great-grandparent, and so on. The grieving woman realized her mistake, and apologized to Buddha. Buddha could have brought back her dead son to life, but that's not how life works. People need to understand the hard facts of life. It is good to have a guru who would solve our problems. But it's even better to have a guru who would teach us to face and overcome our problems. A seeker would have lost interest in life after getting the first vision of the Creator, or after his first experience of the oneness with consciousness, or something similar. But that never happens, and the seeker keeps seeking even after his experience of self-realization, enlightenment, or liberation because of the umpteen secrets of life and spiritual living. Unlike physics, chemistry, or mathematics, there is nothing hard and fast in science of spirituality. If 2 parts of hydrogen and 1 part of oxygen make water, and if 3 plus 4 equals 7, then they will be that way always. Whereas, in spirituality, anything and everything are possible. Dead can be alive again, and a yogi can levitate, defying law of gravitation. However, can a guru, or realized person, help someone who is without belief, or faith that God can work through them? So in order to heal, or transmit Shakti, healing power, is belief necessary, at least in some cases, in the guru. Once a person experiences the oneness of his individual soul with the Supreme Soul, he is one with the Creator. Vedas say, a knower of Brahman is Brahman himself. Such a guru can do anything that we believe the Creator can do, which means from creation of a universe to its dissolution, anything and everything. So, To answer the above question, can a guru help someone who is without belief? Yes, such a guru, knower of Brahman, can do anything. When Vivekananda initially started visiting Sri Ramakrishna, he, Vivekananda, had no faith or belief in any spiritual stuff, and much less in Sri Ramakrishna. But Sri Ramakrishna had chosen him to be the person who would spread Vedanta in the East and the West. So, he had transmitted Shakti into Vivekananda in spite of the latter's reluctance. A knower of Brahman can do anything because he knows what he does. Gender applies neither to the worshipper nor to the worshipped. Between a worshipper and worship there is no gender but just a divine relationship. There are 4 such relationships. 1. Of lovers like Krishna and milkmaids. 2. Of master-servant like Rama and Hanuman. 3. Of mother-child like Yashoda and baby Krishna. And 4. Of friends like Krishna and Arjuna. When a woman takes of her husband's feet, it reflects her egoless character and devotion. This makes her many times greater than her husband. As Sri Ramakrishna said, "I would rather taste sugar than be sugar." It's the great fortune of the wife who gets to taste sugar. The joy of worshipping is bigger than being worshipped. Even after realizing that he and his mother, Kali, are one, Sri Ramakrishna preferred to worship goddess Kali till his last breath, and didn't reveal himself being an avatar to the mass lest people start worshipping him. Moreover, as regarding men's taking the dust of women's feet is concerned, that's absolutely prevalent amongst Hindus. People, including men, take the dust of elderly ladies, mothers, and other respectful women.